On a quiet September morning in 2025, a single message shook millions across China. Actor and singer Yu Menglong, beloved by fans for his warmth and calm charm, was gone. The official story was simple: a fall from height after a night of drinking. But nothing about what followed was simple. For many, that morning marked the start of one of the most haunting mysteries in recent memory. A mystery filled with contradictions, deleted posts, and a lingering question: was this truly an accident, or something much darker? Yu Menglong wasn't a scandal magnet or a tabloid fixture. He was, by most accounts, gentle, reserved, and hardworking. A singer-turned-actor who rose quietly through the ranks of China's entertainment industry. He wasn't chasing controversy, he was chasing craft. And maybe that's why his death hit so hard. Because if someone like Yu Menglong could vanish under such strange circumstances, what does that say about the world that made him famous? According to official reports, on the night of September 10, Yu attended a small private gathering in Beijing's Chaoyang district. Friends, drinks, laughter. Nothing unusual for a man taking a rare evening off. But sometime after 2 a.m. the tone changed. Witnesses later said he seemed restless, uneasy. He went into a room alone and locked the door. By dawn, his body was found outside the building. The police arrived quickly. Within hours, the story spread. Yu Menglong had fallen from a window after drinking. A tragedy, yes, but an accident, they said. Case closed. Or was it? The official narrative came first from the Beijing Chaoyang Public Security Bureau. They ruled out foul play. Forensic checks, interviews, video footage, everything, they said, supported their conclusion. His mother released a short statement online, asking the public to stop speculating. She said her son had simply fallen. It should have been the end of the story, but it wasn't. Because even as the statement circulated, something strange began happening online. Posts disappeared. Hashtags were silenced. And the more the silence grew, the louder the questions became. Why was the window mesh broken? Why were there marks on the frame? Why did some anonymous accounts claim the injuries didn't match a simple fall? And why, people wondered, was the case wrapped up so fast? Within days, a wave of supposed leaks flooded Chinese social media. A photo here, a document there, none verified, but shared millions of times. Each post added a new layer of mystery. Some claimed he'd been pressured at the gathering. Others hinted at hidden conflicts, powerful names, secret recordings. Most were impossible to prove and yet impossible to ignore. Police called the rumors false. They detained 3 women for spreading what they described as fabricated information. But for many watching, that only deepened the unease. Why arrest people for asking questions? Why not simply release the full report? The footage, the autopsy, the timeline. Transparency might have ended the speculation. Instead, secrecy fed it. By late September, a rift had formed: official truth on one side, public suspicion on the other. And between them stood a silence thick enough to choke on. Let's step back. To understand this case, you have to see the pattern. In modern China, when a celebrity dies unexpectedly, information spreads faster than any official can control. Then, the clampdown begins. Posts vanish. Accounts go dark. And what remains are fragments, half-truths, theories, and grief. Yu Menglong's death became a mirror reflecting that tension. A system that insists on order colliding with a public desperate for clarity. Some say this wasn't about one man's death, but about the limits of truth itself. Because in the digital age, the truth is no longer owned by institutions. It lives in screenshots, reposts, whispers between fans. And once that truth is questioned, even silence starts to sound suspicious. Officially, the timeline is clear. Evening of September 10th, Yu Menglong attends a gathering. Early morning of September 11th, he falls from a high-rise window. Later that week, his studio confirms his death, asking fans for privacy. By September 21st, police declare all rumors false, and the case is closed. But between those timestamps, 4 hours remain unaccounted for. 4 hours in which something or nothing could have happened. 4 hours that will likely never be explained. To many fans, the inconsistencies became unbearable. Tributes filled the internet, candles, poems, messages like "Justice for Menglong." Others urged restraint, begging people not to turn grief into gossip. But still the question lingered. If everything was as simple as a fall after drinking, why did it feel like there was more being hidden than revealed? And that's the paradox of cases like this. The more authorities insist there's nothing to see, the more people suspect there is. The lack of transparency becomes its own form of evidence. Not proof, but fuel for doubt. Soon, international outlets picked up the story. Headlines described mystery, confusion, and conflicting reports. Each article added more eyes, more pressure, more noise. Yet none could answer the central question: what truly happened in that apartment between AM and AM? Maybe it really was an accident, a night that went wrong, a tragic slip magnified by fame. Or maybe it was something else, something darker, lost behind the walls of a quiet Beijing apartment. Until someone speaks, all we have are fragments, official statements, denials, deleted posts, and grief. But the Yu Menglong case is about more than a single death. It's about the ecosystem that surrounds tragedy. How rumors thrive when answers are scarce. How truth becomes elastic when filtered through fear. And how public trust can vanish in a heartbeat. Because in the end, what people want most isn't spectacle, it's honesty. And honesty, once lost, is almost impossible to regain. Months later, the noise faded. Search results were cleaned, posts removed, official accounts moved on, but fans still whisper. Every now and then, a new detail surfaces, another leak, another theory before disappearing again. It's like trying to hold smoke in your hands. The tighter you grip, the less there is. Maybe the truth about Yu Menglong lies buried in a police file we'll never see. Maybe it's simpler than anyone wants to believe. Maybe it's more complicated than anyone dares to say. But one fact is undeniable. A life ended too soon, too quietly. And the echoes of that loss still haunt those who followed his work, his music, his smile. In the end, this isn't just a story about death. It's a story about what happens when truth becomes negotiable, when official narratives clash with public curiosity, when grief meets censorship and rumors fill the silence. And that silence can be louder than any scream. So tonight, as you finish this story, remember that every mystery has two sides, the facts we know and the truths we feel. Somewhere between them lies what really happened. And maybe one day, we'll know it. Until then, stay curious, stay questioning, and never stop listening to the quiet between the headlines. Music fade.